Yeah, just a few seconds late today. We're here. Another Sunday, another beautiful day on the beach. Of course, love hearing where everybody is from. What city, what state, what country. All right, let's double check these settings. Yep, everything is good to go. Let's switch to me for a second. There I am. How we doing? All right, let's see if we could do. Sorry, having some technical issues here. Hold on. One of these drops got to go. There we go. All right. I think we got to figure it out. Okay. Much better. Much better. Okay. We're good. We're good. We're good. We're good. Having some working out the kinks here. Hi, everybody. Okay. All right. Let's get back to the view there. And we're settled. Oh, no audio. Hold on. Let me know if you hear me. Charles saying he not hearing any audio. I hear myself, but I guess that doesn't matter. Happy Sunday, everybody. Yep, as Havrika says, great show to come for sure. This should be a good one. I'm pretty excited for this. We're actually going to do this last week, but we made some adjustments to the programming, not only last week, but then also in preparation for what we'll be talking about today. Have an exciting guest coming on as well. And I think this is something, a subject matter, I'm sure you can already tell by the title and the thumbnail, talking about just mental health challenges in general in Jamaica. But we also have an expert that's going to come on and speak about it. And we'll be doing it at the top of the hour. We'll be inviting our guests to the stream and between you and I, right? And giving some updates, and then also hearing from any updates that you may have. As always, when we have guests on, if you have any questions or inquiries at all, please put them in the comments. I will do my best to ask them and bring them to the stream. And I'll do another reminder before we get started with the interview at the top of the hour. But great to have everybody. Great to be here again on another Sunday. The beach there's a lot of people. I don't have it angled, but they're behind the camera, to the left of the camera. There are a lot of people on the beach. I ran the beach last night. I was in Kingston for the last couple of days. and I ran the beach last night, and I was surprised. There was like, it was July 1st. I know it's 4th of July weekend and everything, but like the beach was pretty packed. And this was around sunset, and it was overcast, so it wasn't the greatest sunset. That's like kind of like one of, what would I say, my litmus test to kind of see and get an understanding of how well tourism is doing, at least in the grill specifically. And I will say it's a run or walk on the beach during sunset because we have the best sunsets in the world. And then and the other one's out here. And the other litmus test that I have is church, go to church on Sundays, but I haven't been going because we have these live streams. An excuse, but that when I used to go to church more regularly, that was kind of gave me an idea of how many people are, how full the grill is. And like I said yesterday, during the sunset while running, there was a lot of people there, and even today. So maybe it's the 4th of July weekend. A lot of Americans getting out for the weekend and coming down to Jamaica. Who knows? But it's cool. Good to see. Good to see. A good amount of people in the grill, especially for a June July weekend, which is normally, I would say, a slower time of the year traditionally. Let's hop over to some comments here. Star August, good to see you, chiming in from Chicago. Hey Charles, chiming in from Nassau, Bahamas. Oh, awesome. Nice to see another sister country. MDL, how you doing? Says hi, Throp, and Throppers chiming in from the Washington, D.C. area. Hello, Blooming a Rose. Happy Sunday to you as well. Jay Fitz says hi, Throp and family from Atlanta. Good to see you, Fitz. Chris Hill says good afternoon, Throp and chat. Hope everyone is having a great day. Checking in from Panama City. Awesome. Nice to see you, Chris. Mel Murray, good day. Throp, happy Sunday all from UK, London. Awesome, chiming in from across the pond. Yvonne, welcome. Yvonne says, hi, I'm new Yvonne, watching your videos, watching from Maine. Awesome, lovely to have you. Welcome to the live stream. Welcome to the community. Shayna, what's going on? Nice to see you. Happy Sunday to you as well. What's up, Justin? Good to see you, man. Awesome, nice to have some channel members. I definitely appreciate all of you guys. I don't think I say that enough. Channel members and patrons. I think I need to thank you guys so much more because I really do appreciate your support. It really does help a lot. Like every little bit, every little penny counts, and especially in doing what we're trying to do and in building this community. So I appreciate you all so much. So thank you, Shayna, and also Justin for being a long time channel members. Appreciate it. This is what's happening with that's in the sea or the water that comes from pipes. Jeff, I just want to get a clarification. I agree with the sea that's in here. That's the river water. So when this happens, like we're probably gonna get some rain this afternoon. There are So like usually like rains in the mountains heavily and then the river overflows, and that's kind of what makes it that color, if that's what you're asking. And then I know we do have water issues from and I don't know if this is what you're referring to, but like we've had water issues at the logwood plant, which is where we get the water from, where Negril gets its water from. So if this is what you're talking about, from what I understand, they've been having some mechanical issues. And when I do run in the morning, like for the last week or so, I'm just seeing like water trucks, and also when I drive home at night, just going up and down the boulevard. So I'm not sure where, like I don't probably have the most up-to-date information in terms of up to the hour, as I was in Kingston the last few days, which I want to talk about in a little bit. But those are the two, I guess, water issues, if you would call them that, at least the sea part, if you call that an issue. But that's just update from the knowledge that I have on those two water subjects. Lorraine, good afternoon. Lorraine, sorry. Lawrence, good afternoon. Sorry to Okay, I switched Wi-Fi network, so hopefully that will help. But afternoon, Carly Soul. Thanks for joining. Real nice to catch this chat coming from Grenada. Awesome. Nice to have you, as usual. Hi, Janice. Happy Sunday to you as well. Afternoon, good day. B. Hewitt, HB, happy Sunday to you as well. Inga, baby, nice to see you. Happy Sunday from Orlando. Throp and Throppers. Awesome, awesome. Nice to have everybody. Nice to be here. Do you want to just go through some quick updates? Nothing too groundbreaking. Just talk about the Kingston trip, Throp X, and do we have? Yeah, and I have one and two articles that I will. That yeah, we'll talk about not quickly, but before our guest comes on. Yep, I have them. So I was that Wi-Fi switch didn't really help. But anyway, I was in Kingston for the last few days. I came back yesterday. As a matter of fact, a meetup with my team, and which we actually decided we're probably going to try to do this more regularly. Like everybody is remote and mostly on that side of the island, and I'm the only one out here in the West. So we had like a very productive. Let me show you. I think I got a picture ready to go. We had a very productive couple of days together, and just we just work so much more. What do I say? Efficiently, effectively, as you can imagine, when we're like face to face. So we got a lot of work, like something that I would have say would take a lot longer by doing it over the internet. Like we got it done like in a matter of minutes. And sometimes, and it's like simple things, and we're able to get something that may have taken a couple of days, like as I done in a matter of minutes. So it was it's always good to meet up with the team and to be face to face. I think that sort of thing like really continues to help build camaraderie amongst the team. And that was on, when did we meet? We met Thursday, and there's a picture of the team. So this is the Throp Media team. We got starting from like the furthest away. We got Candice in the corner there next to hers, Havrika, then Ramon and the red, and Celindian sitting next to me. And we were actually downtown. Do you guys know? I'm not sure if you know Kingston Creative, and that's where. And I just want to give some. Let me see if I can bring this. So that's where, I don't know if you also are like Carrie Hilson was in, or is in Jamaica, I should say, and she took a picture down there. And when we were there, she's actually filming a video. I think they were filming a documentary. So this is where all like those Sorry, everyone. We are struggling with the Wi-Fi today, unfortunately. Okay, I'm back. I'm back. Switch to my phone. Hopefully that can hold us down. But yes, I was saying I was down by the so we like the picture that you saw, we were at the Kingston Creative Hub. Like I love this place. So this is downtown Kingston, and I wish I took some video. But yeah, like you basically are it's a co-working space, and then you can rent different types of space, like whether it's a desk or a table, or we rented like a little cubicle for our team to meet, and you could rent it for the day or you could rent it per hour. They actually have a podcasting space as well. I think it's just a huge asset to Jamaica, and definitely to Kingston. And trying to bring up some pictures here. So yeah, let me just do a quick screen share. This is their website. And like they have like all this like cool artwork there. Let's see. And then they have a bunch of local artists that do all these beautiful paintings. I'm sure you've seen them before. But the Kingston Creative, oh yeah, it's Kingston Creative Art Walk. Let's see if we can get a little bit of a virtual tour here. And yeah, you guys can see this. Just very beautiful artwork. And if you are in this area, the downtown area, I would definitely encourage you to check it out and take a look at all these great pieces of art along the art walk that they have there. So that's kind of where we were. That's where we were yesterday for the not yesterday, Thursday for our meetup. So this was, and then also the Kingston Creative Hub. That's like where we work out of, and I also think that that's a great huge asset to Jamaica and to Kingston, obviously, and that's where I normally work out of when I'm in Kingston, and this is great for the team to meet as well, and it's very reasonable. We like that little room was 5,000 for the entire day. We were there from maybe like 10:30 to they closed at I think 6. So just about 6 was 5,000 Jamaican dollars. Extremely reasonable. Hold on. Let's see what that is in US. That's that's $33 for the entire day, and we can't ask for much more. Um, that was the and it's a cool space, and and uh, uh like really really cool spot, and, and good place to network as well. And they have a restaurant downstairs, and like that's where, and that's also very convenient for us because we just ordered our lunch there, any coffees that we needed or anything like that. And I thought that was it's a really really great place to agree like lives in St. Kitts. Your patience here. All right. The other thing that I did out there, I went to what do you call it? The Alpha Boys. They had a performance at their location, which was pretty awesome. So these folks here, um, it's kind of like a group of like everybody's a professional here that you see in this picture, and they did a number of different pieces, sectional pieces, as a complete ensemble, as you see there. It was like a really really beautiful like beautiful night, and everybody they meet basically once a week to practice and prepare for this concert. And they're taking a break for the summer. Like everybody there's like they were saying like engineers, doctors, lawyers, like all professionals in their own regards, business owners, and they have just a love for music, and they came together and put this concert together for the community, and it was really nice. And the thing I say, like I want to say, like that I took away from, and this may kind of sound silly, is like being in Kingston, like there's like a real sense of community there. Not that we don't have that in the grill, but like there's just like pockets of different communities in Kingston, like that you're into different things, and you have I guess that's a city, right? And then you have the availability of different interest groups that you can join and participate and be a part of, depending on what you might be into. And so it was just kind of cool, just kind of chiming in on that, and I was really impressed with that, and it was again a very very lovely evening. And then I also went to, and this is kind of going to the example of like different types of community. This weekend, or the last 2 weeks, I should say, was Gat Fest. Let me see if I could bring that up. So it's basically 2 week film festival that takes place every year, and Celine, our producer, thought me a producer. She's the one who invited me. I'm trying to bring up their website, but we are struggling with this internet right now. Let's see. Hopefully it comes up. But anyway, um, I went to. Oh yeah, it just came up. So they had a bunch of different events this week, and I didn't know about it until I got to Kingston, unfortunately, or else I would have loved to have participated in more of these events. And so they had like all these events that you can like that are throughout the week and throughout Kingston at different locations. And going back to June, they have film pitch premiere, Canadian film night, Colombian film night, Dominican Republic film night, French night, trying to go to the international film night on Thursday, but my schedule's hectic. I went to the Paramount Studios film night, and I tripped out. Yeah, so I'm not sure how much, but so I went to the Caramac Film student film night that they had there, and that was at the multiplex. So it was like cool. I'm sure for the students that they were able to see their films that they made and see like literally see it on the big screen, and then also be able to see the reaction of the audiences as the audience as their film was premiering. So really really awesome to kind of gone through this. And then Sunday was Jamaica film sorry Saturday was Jamaica film night, which was yesterday, which was like the big night, and they were showing 11 different short films, and they're all competing for a prize of $50,000. And then I believe the awards will be tonight, the closing the award ceremony, which unfortunately I couldn't be there. But next year I am definitely going to be participating, and I'm going to try to go to as many of these events as I can because I love film, I love filmmaking, and I'd want to support it here in Jamaica as much as I possibly can. So yeah, that was the Kingston trip for the most part. All right, let's get back to the beach. We do have a couple of different updates as well. Before we get into the news articles, we can do this some ThropX updates, and I'll also put some reminders at the end of the stream as well. So as you don't know, we have an investment conference that we're doing in November 13th to November 17th, ThropX in the Jamaica Investment Conference. And essentially we're having many of the guests that we've had on the podcast, these experts in their various different fields of real estate and finance and entrepreneurship. uh, Different government entities will also be there and speaking, and they will be coming and making presentations during ThropX 2023. So there's be 2 days of panels, and then on the third day we'll actually be doing a tour of different real estate for sale, both commercial and residential real estate for sale in the greater Negril area, and you get to tour these different properties that are going to be curated by our real estate experts. And then we also have this year we extended it to 2 days, so we're doing a boat ride as well as a night out on the town, and then on the last evening we'll be doing a farewell dinner, an all white farewell dinner, which was a lot of fun last year. And this is kind of where we thought like we need to have more social a bigger social aspect and this bigger social footprint uh, during the conference, because there was a lot of people. Also there was many people who hadn't been back to Jamaica in over 20 years, and some haven't been back in 10 years. And uh, what I got to understand that like this was their opportunity to kind of like re-engage and kind of understand from a first-hand real-world experience what Jamaica is like from as many aspects as humanly possible. Like, of course, there's the educational aspect with the conference itself and the networking, but then also so much like what type of like how you socialize, whether you're partier, whether you're like just kind of like home or going to these for that matter. You want to be able to give that experience to you. Sorry, shooting one quick text. So that's ThropX 2023. So we're actually going to be doing a second live stream. So that actually starts this week. So we'll be streaming on Thursdays. Yep, sorry, I'm just seeing your comments. Let me know if I keep cutting out. I will try to switch to another Wi-Fi if this isn't working. So let me know how's it going. I think we're a little bit stable now. Sorry everybody that it's so bad today, but just bear with me. Hopefully we won't have these issues next time. So yeah, sorry. Yeah. I know how annoying it is watching a stream and it kind of keeps cutting out audio and everything. But I appreciate your patience. All right, we're back again. I know, no audio, no sound. Sorry, everybody. We're just going through it today. Hopefully, we can figure this out by the time our guest comes on. But yeah, just kind of giving you everybody an update on ThropX for the most part. And I'm not sure if you heard, but we're going to be doing a second live stream on Thursdays. So we're doing that starting this Thursday, so 4 p.m. Jamaica time. And that is going to be, for the most part, I would say, dedicated to ThropX. And we're going to be doing essentially the same strategy, if you will, that we did last year, which was to bring on as many of the guests that we're going to have like come speak during ThropX to come on the live streams on Thursday. So that's basically, the plan. And we were actually thinking about doing a third live stream during the week, but we're not 100% sure on that, but we're committing to the second live stream on the Thursday. So we'll be doing these Sundays as usual, and then the second Thursday one dedicated to ThropX 2023, which I'm very, very excited for and ready to kind of get back into the groove, because I really like the second live stream, because it takes pressure off. Not that I feel like any kind of real pressure or anything like that, but it takes the pressure of like trying to squeeze so much into the one live stream on the Sunday, and then we can spread things out a little bit more, and then we can also go a lot deeper on different subjects as well during those live streams. Okay, let's get into. All right, just want to go into two quick articles, and then we are going to get into the subject matter at hand, which is mental health in Jamaica. Or maybe one quick article. Okay. So this one's on the economy. All right. Sorry, it's kind of weird there. Okay, this one is Jamaica's economy grew by 4.3% in March per quarter. This came out yesterday, and this is the Jamaica Gleaner. I will throw it in the comments section if you want to read along, but I'm also going to read it out loud. Okay, here we go. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica said that all industries, with the exception of producers of government services, expanded. Jamaica's economy grew by 4.2% during the first quarter of the calendar year, from January to March 2023. Data from the Statistical Institute of Jamaica, Staten, indicates that this outturn was spurred by 5.4% growth in the services industry and 1% in the goods producing industry. Staten, in a statement, said that all industries, with the exception of producers of government services, expanded. Hotels and restaurants led the way with a 29.7% outturn, which was sparked by a 45.5% increase in arrivals. The other subsectors recording growth were transport, storage, and communication, up 7.1%, wholesale and retail trade, repairs, installation, and of machinery and equipment, up 2.8%, real estate, renting, and business activities, up 2.3%, finance and insurance services, up 1.9%, electricity and water, up 0.7%, and other services rose by 13%. There was a 0.3% decline in producers of government services. Only 2 of 4 goods producing industry subsectors recorded higher levels of output. Mining and quarrying topped the group with an impressive 114.7% outturn, while manufacturing expanded by 3.6%. Staten indicated that growth in mining and quarrying was due to increased output from the Jamaica plant, which was closed in the corresponding period of 2022 due to a fire the previous year. The facility subsequently reopened and resumed operations in mid-2022. Conversely, agriculture, forestry, and fishing declined by 6.9%, while construction contracted by 4.2%. Stanton said that the economy's performance during the review period reflected sustained recovery from the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and responded 1% growth on the October to December 2022 outturn. This was the result of 1.5% increase in the services industry and a 0.6% fall in the goods producing industries. The economy grew by 4.7% for the fiscal year 2022-2023 compared to the fiscal year 21-22, the agency added. All right. I thought that was kind of a relevant article to bring up. But I'm glad they put it in context, right? Because obviously this is still COVID recovery, and like, you know, we here travelers, like we think of the same thing, like we have to like put things in context, and things things are like we have to put things in context. So we'll see what happens as I'm thinking particularly in the tourism industry, and as we move into that, we're in the slow season, I should say, and then after the slow season, we're obviously preparing for the winter season. And so I think that is going to be a very, very interesting time, especially with these. I mean, they stabilize, yes, the interest rates I'm referring to, but we'll see what happens and in the winter season. And I'm curious to know what the pacing for other hotels are looking like, and the tourism industry, and basically what our future sales looking like. So we're now in June, and like, you know, the reason that as I was alluding to, like the beach is full when I kind of first opened up, and there are a lot of people here. Could be 4th of July weekend, but obviously the folks who are here now, they've made this decision months, maybe a few years in advance. And so we're in that time period, I would say, of people making their decision, are getting to that time period. But I think we're in a strong time period from people making a decision for their winter vacations and probably first quarter 2024 vacations. So it'll be interesting to see where we end up when we actually get to the 2024, because I think, in my opinion, I think 2024 will be very much an apples to apples comparison when we talk about year over year growth or contraction, whatever it turns out to be. Fitz is asking, are you going to discuss the video you referenced last week of the guy who moved to Africa? You know, I was going to bring that up, but like I feel like that's a live stream. A good question, Fitz. I was going to bring that up today, but I think it's a video that deserves this like own live stream. And then also let me know what you all think too. Like I was like, man, you know, do we want to give this type of attention? And do we want to kind of like platform a person like that? And in my mind, I'm like, I don't mind, because I think he's bringing up a lot of different challenges that Jamaica has that we should be talking about and should be addressing. But like I said last week, it's not to the point where you shouldn't be considering retiring or moving here or living in Jamaica. And so let me know what you think. You know, if I am going to do it, I think I want to dedicate like an entire stream to it, and we can talk about it and go through it. So I didn't want to do it because I knew we were having a guest on today, and I didn't want to do it in like a hastily way. You know, I don't think we'd be able to get through that in an hour, and then also kind of muddying the water, so to speak, with the main topic that we have today, which is mental health in Jamaica. And so that's kind of my thinking. Hey, Oren, good to see you. And just joining, catchy topic. Are we talking about mental health in JA? Yep. We have a guest coming on in just a few minutes, and we'll be diving into that subject very shortly. And so stay tuned. Rose Forest, good to see you. Thanks for joining. Happy Sunday, Suzette. Justin says, my son is in West Africa right now. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Is this a son that I met, Justin? And then says thinks I should do it. I think I will. I think I will. I don't see why not. I'm not afraid of, I don't know, talking about tough subjects, right? And I think that's how we get better, and that's how we grow, both individually and then also as a society, by talking about the challenges that we face. And I'm definitely open to it. But if we were like adamantly against talking about it and having them on, then I would say like, okay, we're not going to do it. And Justin's saying yes. Met two of them, the older one. Okay, gotcha. Okay, awesome, awesome. Sure, he's having an awesome time out there. Jeff asked, "Why does the ocean behind you look murky?" So I talked about this earlier. That's the river water coming down from the South Negro River. So basically, what happens is when it rains a lot in the mountains, the river water overflows and it comes downstream, and then it comes into the sea here. So yeah, Justin got it. River runoff, pretty much. And basically, we're gonna get rain at some point, and it's probably gonna be a lot. That's what this is telling us. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I was gonna read another article, but we can save that. We actually have our guests on in the staging area. And so before I bring them on, I want to do a little bit of a preamble, if you will. So, as you see by the title and thumbnail, today we wanted to discuss and talk about mental health in Jamaica. And this is something that this is something that like we talk about internally as a team. We've talked about before, and we feel like it's not something that is being discussed enough and openly. And we figured, why not use the platform to do it? And like we don't necessarily want this to be a one-off thing. And I think with many of the challenges that Jamaica faces, a lot of them are just kind of swept under the rug, and they're not addressed openly. And to me, this is a great opportunity to hopefully have a fruitful discussion, and also from an educational standpoint to also learn as well. And the guest that we have on is Dawn Marie Petgrave. She is a licensed associate psychologist, motivational speaker, and author. Dawn is a member of the Jamaican Psychological Society, who holds a master's degree in Christian counseling psychology and degrees in education and theology. Dawn is a trained teacher and has been an educator for over 15 years, and a beauty mogul for more than 2 decades. She is currently pursuing studies in forensic psychology. Dawn is also a talented entrepreneur and motivational speaker who is the CEO and founder of D. Marie Institute Limited and founder of LIFE Care Center. She has done extensive workshops in mental health, psychological first aid, trauma and grief, and much more. She also facilitates corporate workshops in customer service, professionalism, corporate grooming, and balancing mental health and work life. Her training, education, and professional experience, combined with her winning personality, exposes her clients to dependable, detail-oriented, and multi-talented professional who enhances the success of all her projects. And I'm going to invite Miss Petgrave to the convo here. Oh, wait, hold on. Sorry. Make me bigger. Hi there.
Hi, how are
I
you?
always forget to do this. One moment. They can hear you, but I can't. So one moment. Let me just switch something here. Okay, I think I can hear you now. Hello.
Hello.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. It is a topic that, as you said, is not spoken about enough. So I am humbled for the invitation, actually. So thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And to get started, I just wanted to kind of, well, first I know I gave you your introduction for
Yeah.
you, but I would also like to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself.
Okay, so my name is Dawn Petgrave. As mentioned earlier, I am a licensed associate psychologist, and I'm also a certified trauma specialist. So you might have heard mention of degrees in education and theology. So those are things that I hold also, but I practice now as a psychologist.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And to start our discussion here, I just have some definitions slash statistics that I want to go through, and
Mhm.
then I will kick it over to you. So, mental health is a significant issue in Jamaica with high rates of depression, anxiety, and suicide. The World Health Organization estimates that 20% of Jamaican population suffers from some form of mental health issue. Some forms of mental health issues that's present in Jamaica. So depression can be defined as a persistent mood disorder that results in feelings of dejection, can pervade daily life, affecting basic activities such as eating and sleeping, and provoke suicidal thoughts. Around 3% of Jamaicans suffer from depression. Women have higher rates of depression and anxiety than men. Anxiety disorders, which involved a persistent state of worry or fear, similarly manifest in everyday activities, causing fatigue and sometimes hurting academic or professional performance.
Mhm.
Anxiety, 4% of Jamaicans suffer from anxiety. Most new cases of anxiety disorders appear in Jamaicans in the 20 to 34 and 35 to 59 age groups. Anxiety is common among working age Jamaicans. 5.5% within the 35 to 39 age group suffer from anxiety. Psychosis is a mental health condition that manifests as hallucinations, erratic social behavior, and delusions, all of which may occur during psychotic episodes when an individual's perception of reality is disrupted. Psychosis. In Jamaica, psychosis was responsible for 106,674 visits to public health clinics for mental illness in 2016, accounting for more than 80% of mental illness related to public clinic visits nationwide. There is a stigma around mental health in Jamaica. Many people in the country view mental illness as a sign of weakness or personal failing, which can prevent individuals from seeking help. There is also a lack of awareness about mental health, with many people not understanding the signs and symptoms of mental health problems or how to get treatment. And we have some resources here, but before we get into the resources, I just kind of wanted to open up with that and get your thoughts and feedback.
Yes. So, I'm glad that you read that article because I think we really, really do have a misconception of what mental health is. And when we talk about mental health, we are just simply talking about the way you think, the way you feel, and the way you act. And so the stigmas, that are associated is if you're feeling depressed, you're mad. You know what I mean? Or so because we think of mental health as being a mad person, or being possessed by the devil. Jamaica is a highly Christian country, and so you will see a lot of persons suffering from schizophrenia, and then you may hear that they are devil possessed and they need deliverance. All right, and so it is important that we're using every possible platform to have these conversations because I think if persons are better educated, then you will find more persons seeking the help that they need and actually getting the help that they actually need.
And as I was reading the statistics, and somebody just said this in the comments too, that they think it's, I think they were talking about maybe it's the anxiety slash depression is higher than, I forget what the percentage is. Um, but the point is, I think this probably remains to be true, maybe globally, that a lot of the mental health challenges, whether it's anxiety, depression, much of it goes undiagnosed and represented in the statistics that we have here. And I think it's to your point of it being this stigma that people don't want to talk about, and especially I can say for males, just not getting the help
Mhm.
that we need, and then also even acknowledging and recognizing that we do have mental challenges and that there is help, and to actually seek that type of help.
Yes, yeah.
So I guess with that, how would you recommend that people go about, like, even analyzing that, or recognizing that they may need or should seek some help, some outside help?
All right. So let's talk about changes in moods and behavior. So if you constantly feel down and sad and just of low spirit, if you're not sleeping enough, or if you can't sleep, if you stop eating as much as you used to eat, or you're eating too much, I mean, these are signs that we need to stop and think about. And we can really, really become each other's keeper. And what do I mean by that? Let's start with the home per se. If you're a parent and little Johnny was always energetic, and then all of a sudden he's locked away in his room, he doesn't want the lights turned on, he doesn't want to talk to anybody, something may be wrong. Or on the flip side, if he start acting out, start getting in trouble at school, behavioral problems, any behavior that is abnormal, we need to stop now to say, okay, is something wrong? All right. Teachers, let's talk about teachers. And I know we throw so many responsibilities on our teachers, but the fact remains is that your children spend more time with the teachers than they do at home. And so many times teachers have the ability to pick up on behavior changes that may be abnormal. And if that is not unlooked, you may be able to save a child's life. I'm particularly interested in what is happening with our children, because most of the time they do not have the capability to articulate what is really going on in their emotions. And so you will see them act it out in different ways. And then persons may now label them, especially our boys, right? And so I agree with the person in the comment that might have said the statistics sound low. I think it's low, but we have to recognize that that is what is being reported, right? Let's use even child sexual abuse. Only 1 in 10 cases are being reported. So
Wow.
when you hear that, okay, 200 children were molested or, physically abused, that's what was being reported. Just multiply that by 10 that were not reported. And so I think right now we have to just look out for the signs. Look out for the signs. If you're overly tired, if you don't want to get out of bed, if those things are things that are saying, look, something is wrong, let me talk to someone.
Okay, so you touched on a multitude of things. So let's start with the kids, and then we can
Mhm.
we can take it from there. And we know, particularly with technology and with social media, the internet in general, there has, at least I can think in the United States, there has, and I'm sure the same thing here in in Jamaica, that there
Yeah.
has been an uptick in depression and even suicide in young people.
Yeah.
And a lot of people and experts attribute to this increase to social media and to the internet, and this, what would I say? This, like, almost like this constant comparison, again, you against the other person or other people out there in the
Mhm.
world, and then it's also an avenue, unfortunately, for bullying as well.
Yes.
And what do you think? And well, I guess firstly, do you agree with these things that I just said, and then we can take.
Yes, 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 I agree because I see them. I see them. I have children coming to me, and when you get to the bottom of why they're depressed, is their friends didn't like their post,
Wow.
you know, and now this trigger them. Something as simple as that. And so, yes, I do agree with you.
And are you seeing, in your years of experience, like, I would assume, like, now there is a much more concentration of students who are on the internet than, say, 10 years ago? And are you seeing an increase in a pattern of this depression, so to speak, being linked directly to social media?
Yes. No, remember that our children are so much more exposed, and a lot of information that is on the internet now were not as easily accessible, let's say 10 years ago, right? And so I'll use a little case. Again, I'll just say little Johnny. I was called in because little Johnny teacher took his tablet. And when you look on the tablet, it's all pornography. Now, little Johnny is 5 years old.
Oh my gosh.
5 years old, okay? So, I mean, loads and loads and loads of video saved. This is a male child. All the videos saved were of male, okay? Not only that, then he now has his own videos that he has created of himself emulating the things that he would have seen in the videos. Okay? Now, I want you to try to put that in perspective. 5 years old, male child. How do you even begin to talk to such a child? All right. So when you do the family history and you look, which is why you will hear me keep saying back to the home, because we do actually even have a parenting crisis because parents are mentally challenged right now. And so with that, we realize that it's creating a ripple effect on our children. And so it's just a lot happening out there. 10 years ago, I don't think children didn't have that much access to pornography. I don't think. And so little Johnny Pear lives with a grandmother who knows nothing about social media, who doesn't know how to put on parental locks on this tablet. Both parents are in two different countries. They're not together. So you can see what is called, I don't know if you're familiar with the statement barrel picnic. So you have children who live here, right? So he's a barrel picnic, he has all the gadgets in the world, but he's missing out on love, attention, affection, and then you see where that is taking him. So there is so much happening. I had a young lady recently, and again, all the girls on the internet, they're thin and they're beautiful. She doesn't think she's beautiful because she doesn't look like them. Her skin is dark. She doesn't think dark skin is beautiful because that's not what she's seen being portrayed. And again, I go back to our children have to have the understanding that they are enough. We have to embed that in them. We have to get up every day and teach them who they are so that when they come up against, all these information and all these competition and all these things that are going on, they are not so heavily affected. I mean, you and I know that the pictures we see on Instagram, persons probably take 100 pictures and choose the best one. These children, they don't know that. They take that for gospel. I saw a video post the other day, and the caption was power couple doing so and so and so and so. I smiled because that power couple are my clients now. I know better, but somebody else would have looked on that and know they want to be that, they want that. And if they don't get that, then it creates anxiety, which can later lead to depression. And so we have a lot of work to do.
Boy, that's that example that you told us about the 5-year-old. That is shocking.
Yeah.
Never heard of anything, or could I even have imagined that? Like, you told me one level and then you just went even further. So that is like one. It's also makes me question, like, what type of man is this going to be in 15 years, right? And then you hit it on the head. Like, the problem is way upstream. It's with the parent and the community, the village that he's around. And like
Yeah.
that's where the focus needs to be for sure. This
Yeah.
is what this example is telling me. Like this kid doesn't know any better. And like you said, the grandmother has no idea about parental
She
control or
doesn't.
anything. And it's just like, what do we do? Like, how do you address that? And I highly doubt that this is a one-off example. And this is just
Oh
something,
dear God! I mean, I could depress your viewers right now, but I would not want to do that.
right?
Like honestly, that is just a drop in the bucket to the things that I'm dealing with, and it makes me research a lot more. It makes me look for answers more because it is going to take an entire community. And this is why I'm saying that as parents and as educators, we can't be naive anymore. There was these kids that play games online together. I became familiar with Fortnite, or I don't know, Fortnite.
Yes.
Right. And so they play with people on the internet that they don't necessarily know. Okay. So I'm pulled in again for another little boy. This time he's 8 years old, and I was pulled in because he said he's gay. Now, I live in Jamaica, you know how that goes.
Right.
And I'm talking with him, and I'm like, so what does that mean? Trying to see what he knows. What does that mean? And stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, where did you hear that? You know where that came from? On the game he's playing, somebody online wanted to trade something. I guess Fortnite, they trade cars. I don't know. But somebody called him gay for not trading with them.
Hmm.
And he now start telling the other little boys in his class that, hey, I'm gay. The other little boys are now uncomfortable with this. Tell one of them told their parent, who of course is going to be concerned. So now here we are dealing with another struggle again. And like I said, those are just two of many, right? So you stop, and as a parent, you wonder, dear God, what am I supposed to do? I don't know how to play these games. I don't even my phone, my kids are sick. Mom, how many times did I show you how to do that? I don't get it. I don't get this technology stuff. So when they know more than we do as parents, um, I don't know, as a nation, we have to go back to the place where it takes an entire community to raise a child right now. And then just think about if those things are not being dealt with in childhood. So, for example, even these two young men, if there is no conversation, let's use the one with the pornography, if there's no conversation about this right now, you're absolutely correct. What kind of man is he going to be in 15 years? How is he going to treat women? When you look at sex offenders, the one thing that remained constant is that most, if not all of them, were addicted to pornography. Okay. So you're looking at how even mental health is going to affect crime and violence later in life. It's a big issue. Big issue.
And somebody mentioned this. I think I lost the comment, but they were just essentially talking about what kind of man this person is going to be, and we think about the crime issues and challenges that we have as a nation, and it's, to me, in my mind, it's like it stems from these situations like way further upstream
Of
where
course.
we could do something about it, and we can change the trajectory of this individual's behavior and the trajectory of their life and their potential by catching it early and addressing it early and creating environments that foster more positivity than anything else.
Hope. Hope.
And yes, 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 exactly, exactly. And it's just like, again, like when what I opened up with, like, why isn't this talked about more? Like, why, like, this is like a serious, serious problem. And like we're always just focused on like the after the cut, we're not focused on preventative measures, and we don't talk about these. At least I'm not hearing it in the news or on talk shows like on a more regular basis, and being this is kind of being part of what we talk about every day. And like this is kind of what I was saying before. Like I feel like a lot of these things are just swept under the rug, and then all of a sudden we deal with the aftermath in the present of crime or whatever have you,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
when we could have dealt with it much earlier.
But again, if you look back as Jamaica as a nation and how we view mental health. So when you think about mental health, persons automatically think of mad people living on the street, mad people, and that's not what it is. And I think when we move away from that, when we look at the impact of how the mind works and how that affects every single aspect of society. I mean, let's use the workplace. Let's create a scenario then. Okay. Let's say I am a single mother, 3 children. I am not making enough. Okay. And I am working 9 to 5. So now I start doing overtime because I need the extra money. Me working overtime is allowing my children more free time. Anything can happen within that free time. Let's say we see a rise in gangs because children are now feeling a lot more abandoned, and so they start looking for place of comfort and acceptance. And so now you have one of your children joining a gang, right? No, you are now worked up, depressed, frustrated because you can't manage. That start cut into your work. So now you start calling out from work. You're taking more sick days. That put more strain on the job, which is now putting more strain on the productivity, the bottom line of the company. And also, again, this can now lead into physical illnesses. These depression can now lead, stress and depression can now lead to high blood pressure and so much more. It's a ripple effect. And so this is why, people ask me, why are you so passionate about mental health? I am passionate about mental health because there is no good health without mental health. And there is no good society unless you have good mental health in the society. And so we have to move away now where companies are making this a priority, right? We see more companies now having health insurance. Well, mental health needs to now become a part of your health insurance. We need to be talking more about employee assistance program. All right. Schools or there are so many schools without a guidance counselor. It blows my mind. There's so many schools, especially private schools, without a guidance counselor, because when you hear it, oh, we can't afford one. But what is going to happen? The teachers are not equipped to deal with all the struggles that come into the classroom. And this is why it's overlooked so many times, because when a teacher has 40 students to deal with and there's just one teacher, and yes, she see that little Jenny is acting out and she's fighting everybody, she's just going to label Jenny and say, sure, that look a bad pit in the McCann brother, and she's going to overlook her. But did you know that little Jenny is probably being molested at home, and that is her way of screaming for help? So this is a bigger problem than we are making it out to be. And I welcome every conversation. I feel everybody need to use their platform now. Even as individuals, just check in with your neighbor. How are you today? How are you today? Honestly, how are you? My thing with my children are, they all live overseas. So when I check in with them, I say, how is your heart today? How is your heart today? We have to become our brother's keeper.
Wow, it's a lot, and it can be, I think, just you even saying all the issues, like the multitude of issues, it can seem overwhelming, but we do need to do something about it, and on a mass scale, and
right.
It's like, how do we expect to change the trajectory of our society, and with all the challenges that we face in Jamaica, and especially our young people, and how do we expect like a particular outcome, and we want our country to be a particular way and our society to be a particular way, but we're not doing the work on the input. We're not doing the work to address this in a mass scale. Yes.
I must say, though, that the Ministry of Health, since the COVID pandemic, have really, really released several campaigns trying to get people to speak up. All right. persons need to move away from shame, feeling ashamed of what you're going through, because it's not your fault. A lot of times it's not your fault. All right. So I must say that the ministry have really, really, created several initiatives, and we are responsible for our own rescue. You are responsible for your own self. So you have to get up now and go seek the answers. And a lot of times I think, unfortunately, we still have this mentality of entitlement. I'm the president, you're doing nothing about it, or the government is doing nothing about it. If you see that you're having signs of depression, it is your responsibility to get up and get the help that you need. Now, if you are clinically depressed, that's a bit harder, because those are people who can't even find the energy to get out of bed, honestly. And this is why I said we have to keep our eyes open on each other. But some of the initiatives that have been launched, there is the mental health and suicide prevention hotline. So there's a number that you can call if you feel that, if you're having suicidal ideations, or if you just feel depressed or so, there's a hotline that you can call. Call that hotline and get the necessary help. All right. There are youth initiatives, because we see a higher rate in that age group, 16 to about 24, 25, right about there. You have the You Matter campaign. OCA also launched the Safe Spot, which you just dial 211, and that has to do with child abuse, again, which is so prevalent in this country. So initiatives have been launched, okay? Is it enough? It may not be enough, but it's a start. So now that they have been launched, are we utilizing them? Are we capitalizing them? So do the schools have the flyers that speaks to Safe Spot and You Matter? Do the teachers know the information? Do they know that these resources are available? So I think this is the next step. These initiatives have been launched. Now, as a nation, let us now start utilizing those information to ensure that every child know that, look, if you're being abused, and I'm not saying you do something and your mom spank you, that's not what I'm talking about, but when you're being abused, whether it's sexual abuse or physical abuse or even emotional abuse, there is an outlet if you are afraid to tell somebody. All right. Teachers need to understand their roles and responsibilities. If you recognize child abuse, it needs to be reported. That's the law. Your part is just to report. Let the law do the rest. And so I feel the initiatives have been launched. As a nation, we just need to be doing more. We need to be seeing flyers everywhere, posters everywhere, every community center. These things need to be posted so that persons know that the answers are there. Another thing is that you have your community health centers, and you may not have a psychiatrist or a psychologist at a community health center, but if you go to the community health center, they will point you in the right direction. And again, if persons are unsure, it's called the Ministry of Health. They will direct you.
But do you think, like, as a society and micro communities throughout Jamaica, that victims or potential victims of either sexual abuse or even mental health disorders, like, do you think that they have or feel they have the support and to have the confidence to seek the help, and to take that initiative and to make that phone call and to recognize that, man, I do have this like overwhelming sense of anxiety, or I am depressed and I need to get help? Because like that's hard for me to see, to be honest.
You're right. It's not easy even to come to a therapist. Do you know how many times persons make appointment and they don't come?
Mm.
And I know why they don't come. My strategies are very unconventional. So I'm going to reach out and I'm going to reassure you that this is a safe space and that your information is confidential. And, I will do that. But you're absolutely right. Persons, especially our male, and it's an area that I'm very concerned because that's why the suicide rate for men are so much higher than the suicide rate for women. Because when a woman will call a girlfriend and talk, a man is not talking, right? And so persons don't feel safe. And my encouragement is that every entity in society needs to be a conversation in every entity. In our churches, we need to let people know that it's okay to not be okay. You know what I mean? It's okay to not feel okay today, but when you're not feeling okay, what can you do? And just to understand that there is no judgment. I think that's one of the biggest issue why persons don't come because they feel like they're going to be judged. And if I should be honest, it's natural. It's natural for you to kind of judge. But I think when persons, the more we're talking about it and the more that we recognize that, wait a minute, I'm not the only one. Somebody else may be going through these, same situations also. And then you form a community. All right. So my encouragement to people, don't allow the fear of judgment to stop you from getting the help that you need. You could save your own life.
Yeah, great, great, great points. And I can even talk from my perspective. I'm 39 now, but like, just being like a teenager and even in the early 20s, like I just didn't have the emotional maturity to, and also self understanding of kind of who
Right,
I
right,
am,
right,
and to just have the confidence to be vulnerable and to like tell my
right.
boys like, man, I don't feel good about this, or this made me feel this way. And I know that it's just general, not just Jamaican society, but like that is lacking. It's just to have that openness and that vulnerableness as a young man, as a young person. And yeah, with the girlfriends, like they talk to each other and they can be emotional and they can let their guard down and they have safe spaces to go to. But I think as men and even young men, it's especially young men, I should say, like that's not there. And I could say like even with me and my best friends that I grew up with, and like I said, we're in our late 30s now, but a there there is more of an acceptance of that, and then we understand that we've been through so much life, and life is very, very hard, and it's very hard
Oh
for a man
yeah.
who can understand that. And so we're okay. We're at a point to say like that we are upset about something, or we're sad, or even expressing each other, like we tell each other like we love each other, like because I love my best friends, and like there's nothing
Absolutely.
saying that. And
But
but yeah, sorry.
here's what, and I just did this with real life TV. We're talking about, it was 12 young boys that I was having the conversation with about handling your emotion. So something that I've been encouraging parents is start now talking to your children about emotions, helping them to identify their different emotions, okay? And then let's say, for example, you feel angry or agitated. Does that mean you have to punch something or scream something? What else can you do? Can you just talk about it? All right. So some of the things that I do when I'm doing psychosocial with children, some of the topics we talk about emotional agility, we talk about emotional intelligence, we talk about stranger danger. Who's a good stranger? Who's a bad stranger? What is a safe space? What is not a safe space? We talk about good touch, bad touch. So again, when you have, and I'm a mother, and I'm sure everybody out there can attest to this, especially mothers. If my daughter, when she was a baby, if she fell and scratched her knee or whatever, I'm lifting her up, I'm cleaning off her knee, I want to kiss her boo boo. If one of my sons fall, I'm going to say, stop the crying, you're not a girl. So, unfortunately, society has told our boys that they need to self soothe, and talking about your emotion is a weakness. And so they grow up bottling things up inside, not understanding that it is okay to express how you're feeling. And then we expect them to lead, provide, and protect. How is that going to happen? You understand? And so you will hear me say over and over and over and over, we have to go back to the home, because there is so much damage done in society right now that we may not reach everybody. But if we start at the fundamental, if we go back to our children now, let's start with the home, and hopefully we can make a change. Let we start incorporate mental health in our curriculums. It need to be a part of whether your personal development courses. People need to know that this is a phenomenon. Like, if you understand how the mind works, and it's a simple thing, the mind is such a powerful tool because you become what you constantly think about. So if we can teach people how to shift what they think about, that is going to create a different response. It's simple, but again, we have to start by telling our children that.
Yeah, and like, to me, like, what makes it overwhelming, a big part of it, what makes it overwhelming, because we do need the help from the schools and the teachers. And like you said before with your example, when you have a ratio of 40 students to one teacher, no guidance counselor, it's like, oh my goodness, that's a lot. And so, like, it's like, how do we address that? How do we get more teachers? How do we get more guidance counselors into the schools, and so that school has the resources necessary to just somehow help those kids? Because it seems like a very much survival of the fittest situation right now, and the best kind of rise to the top, and it should be like everybody should have the same opportunities when they graduate.
It would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
And that's where socioeconomic comes in, because unfortunately, you think about a kid from lower socioeconomy, they don't have access to healthcare. It's not available to them. So how do we get more guidance counselors? Honestly, I'm really hoping that this is something that the Ministry of Education is working on. I hope that we're seeing that our children are hurting. And it's not just about getting more guidance counselors, it's about getting trained guidance counselors. One young lady was referred to me by her mom, and on the basis of the referral is the fact that she went to her guidance counselor and told her guidance counselor that she feels like killing herself. And her guidance counselor said, "Look here, little girl, go back to your class." That was it. She was not taken seriously. Can you imagine what would have happened if that mother did not reach out to me and I was able to offer some intervention? You understand what I'm saying? So we need our guidance counselor to also be trained in assessment, to be able to identify mental health, to know when to refer when it's a disorder. Do we have the right assessment tools? We have to ensure that we're getting the right assessment tools in our school systems. And the school is one of the most impactful place right now. Because remember, when children are, and I continue to talk, child abuse, when children, especially during COVID, what was happening is that at least when the children who live in abusive homes, at least when they could have come to face-to-face school, they get out of the environment for a little bit. And if something is happening, the teachers are there to at least recognize that something is happening. But during COVID, a lot of these children were locked in with these abusers.
Man.
Do you realize that there was a statistic that I saw that the education level of our children decreased by 30%. So we have so much damage that we're trying to catch up and to fix right now.
And like, when you say that, so that's one thing that I did hear, that especially when we talk about the socioeconomic impact that these can have, especially like have on our children, and we extrapolate out to, again, when these children become adults, and what kind of adults are they going to be? What type of education, what type of decisions are they going to make? when
Absolutely.
30% of them have not received the education that they should be, are performing at the grade level that they should be performing at. And then I wasn't even thinking about this the social impact of being locked at home with their abusers, when normally during school they would have got a break or had an opportunity
Yeah.
to get some help. And again, what is that going to mean in 2035 and 2040? What type of society is Jamaica going to be then because of this?
And this is, I think this is why I am so vocal now, because I think, or at least I recognize that I have insights that, just like you said, you didn't think about the impact of them being home. And I see it. I see it every day. I get these stories that are just heartbreaking. And so you wonder, what can we do? One of the things I recognize also is that many of the parents also have their own childhood traumas that were never dealt with. And so they grew up treating the children the same way they were treated. Also, with trauma begins in the womb. This is something that you will learn in psychology. Trauma begins in the womb. So many times you will find children who are even born with the traumatic emotions. So you'll have a 3-year-old child and you're wondering, how can this child just be so depressed? You know, chances are they absorb the trauma from the mother. And so, boy, I don't know. I just feel like we have to raise the banner higher. We have to raise the banner higher. It breaks my heart because Jamaica also has a brain drain, in the sense that we're not paid. And I said we because I am feeling the blunt of that. When I look at opportunities overseas for the level of, even just degrees that I have, I could be making so much money. And so, a lot of persons are moving away from better opportunities. My hope is that there's a group of persons that will stick it out. My hope is that the government will put more funding in these areas so that persons who are working in these areas can afford to get the right tools, because the assessment tools cost a lot of money. And it's very hard to spend this money to get all these things and then to do it for free, but it really, really needs to be opened up so that everybody know that there is help. We have to help our children. We have to spend more time talking with them. A couple weeks ago, I was at a school that I go in from time to time, and because I have been doing um, intelligence, right? I've been doing intelligence and emotional intelligence with them. A young lady stopped me and she said, Miss Petgrave, I think you need to talk to so and so. Okay, let's say so and so is Mary. So I went and I got Mary and I said, what's happening? And she goes, what do you mean? And I said, no, how is school? And I'm, playing stupid just to get things out of her. You want to hear what's been going on with Mary? Mary doesn't feel like she's good enough. And so she came to school that day with a screwdriver. Now this is grade 6, okay? Grade 6. She used the screw, not to hurt anybody. She used the screwdriver to take out the blade out of the sharpener to cut herself. Mary's a cutter. Mary has been cutting. Mary's parents have no clue because Mary's from a prominent home. You don't need anything. How could this possible? And in talking to Mary, I get to find out that she also actually tried committing suicide. Ah,
Wow.
she's 11 years old in a good home. When we do the history, you realize the pressure that has been put on her to be perfect. And whenever she gets a bad grade, how the lashes that comes out, not physical, but the emotional abuse and stuff like that. So she feels it's best to just die because I am not matching up to what everybody expects me to be. Is that a legit case? Yes, it is. Is it one student feeling this way? No. A lot of our students are feeling this way, especially when it comes time to grade 5 and grade 6, when they're preparing to do their exit exam to go into high school. You understand? There's so much pressure that are placed on these children that they feel inadequate and you find them hurting themselves. And so we just have to raise the banner on mental health, have the conversations. It needs to be at the dinner table, at the workplace, at the school, in the meetings, everywhere. Everywhere we need to be talking about the mental health of our people.
I think that's kind of the one thing that we can kind of do immediately. And like you said, it's like talking about it with our community leaders and our churches, part of like our just our conversations at work, like you're saying at school. Like this has to be like it has to be normalized, and it has
Yes,
to just be
yes,
like, okay, like this is just something we talk about that everybody deals with. Everybody, every human being, don't care what kind of background you come from. This is something that we all deal with and is part of the human experience that needs to be
yeah,
managed, and that we all need other help, and we need each other's help to overcome these mental adversities. And so,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, we really do need to just kind of and to me, with the government initiatives that you were talking about earlier, and
Mhm.
you asked the question, are they being used? But to me, like this is the way that they can be used, is like if this becomes normal, like and you say to yourself, like what I'm experiencing and what I'm going through right now is normal, and it is okay for me to go seek help. And then when it becomes part of the normal conversation of our society, then this is when these initiatives will be used.
Yes, and you know what? If I could just even offer a few strategies that people can use to help themselves, you know, um, simple things. It's amazing. Workout, workout.
Yeah.
You know, because what exercise does, it helps to have more oxygen-rich blood flowing through the veins, right, to the brain. So it helps you to think better, right? Simple little things. Go for a walk, join a community club, join a sports team, yoga, meditate, deep breathing, eating better. Did you know that our diet can send triggers that may appear as mental disorders?
Oh wow, no, I didn't.
Ah, because certain deficiencies are going to, let's use iron. Something as simple as you might hear that, oh, you're anemic. Now, when you're anemic, you have very, very low energy. When you have low energy, you don't feel like doing anything, number one. So you might start lock away. You don't want to see light. And so those are also signals of depression, but you're just anemic. So if you increase your iron intake, you will recognize that you start feel better, you have more energy to get up and to go. And so it is whenever I have clients, I'm asking about the biology. I'm asking about what are you eating? Are you exercising? Are you drinking enough water? What are you doing? Because if we're doing these things, these are simple things that helps us to also have better mental health, simple little disciplines that we as individual can do for ourselves.
I think that's so important and so powerful, and I don't think you can say that enough, of just getting out and doing exercise, and
Yeah.
this also being intentional about what you put into your body as well. Like I didn't even know that you could, depending on what you eat, could come up as mental disorder.
Yeah.
That's really amazing. That's crazy. That really is. But thank you for that. And you had mentioned you're talking a little bit about, like, I guess alluding to that, like the health profile, and I was wondering in terms of like as a society, like as Jamaican society and like in our culture, like how much do you think that that plays into the mental health challenges that we are facing?
I haven't seen much statistic on that, but I will give you an example of something that happened recently. So there's a client, I think your age, 39. She's 39. So whenever I meet with females, I'm always asking about when was your last pap smear? When was your last mammogram? Normal things that I think are normal. And 39 years old, she has never done either. She has never
Oh
done
wow, okay.
either. So she has never had a mammogram. Okay. And then she said to me, and I've been feeling a little lump in one of my breasts, but and I'm thinking, oh my God. So anyway, you also know that at 39, you can start having premenopausal symptoms. And some of those premenopausal symptoms can also look like signs of depression. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? And also, anxiety can lead to premenopause. So there's so many correlation that is happening right now. When you are overly anxious, it is going to allow you to create more stress hormones. Now, when you are creating more stress hormone, the body cannot repair itself if as effective as it should, and so you're more susceptible to diseases. All right. And then you hear a person say, oh, I feel disease, but then eventually that's what it is. It becomes disease. And so there is such a big correlation. Again, I go back to persons who can't afford healthcare because chances are something is going on biologically. You haven't had the money to go to the doctor to have it checked out, and now it's sending triggers. You're depressed, you're anxious, and all these other things going on while it could have been treated biologically. And this is why I encourage persons do your yearlies, do your yearlies, eat well. I cannot even emphasize that enough. Eat well, so that you can feel better every day. Remember what your mental health is how you think, feel, and act. So if we're thinking better, we're going to feel better, we're going to act better.
Oh, sorry, I busted.
I lost you for a minute there.
I'm sorry. Yeah, if you can continue,
Yeah, the internet is a mess today.
man, tell me about it. Um, well, I don't know if you kept talking when I kind of hopped off.
Yes, well, yeah, it took me a minute to recognize. Well, you were frozen, I think, is what it is.
Okay. All right. So yeah, if you
Great conversation, by the way. Like, I'm really grateful that you're using your platform to do this, and I really hope that it will create more awareness so that persons who haven't even given thought to this, it will trigger something in them to want to even know more.
yeah, I want to do. I want to even go even deeper than this. And I would say make this almost part of my regular, like make it a part of the platform. Like I said, I don't want it to be something that we just talk about once and then we don't talk about it again.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
think that this is so important, and like this community is really about making Jamaica a better place and really taking on the responsibility in our own little way of contributing
yeah.
to the progress of Jamaica and its people. So it's very like, and this is like a big part of it. And I want it again just to be like a subject that we talk about on a regular basis, and have professionals like yourself be a part of it. And like we were gonna talk like last week, I was gonna do this by myself, but I was like, there's no way I want to take this on and just talk about it. Like we wanted to have an expert come on and to speak about it. And I think this is a very important topic. And like to your point about a solution, like this is how it becomes a normal part of society and normal part of the conversations that we have, that we just continuously talk about it.
Yes, yes.
I have a couple of comments that I start here. So I just want to, this is from the audience here. Um, so this is from earlier in the conversation. This is from Nadine. They ask, how do you get help for someone who you think is suicidal and doesn't want help?
You cannot help anybody that doesn't want help. That's just the truth.
Wow.
You just can't.
So what would you recommend in a situation like this?
What I would say is continue to be that support system for that person, continue to have the conversation with them, continue to let them know how much you love them. When I have suicidal, you see, persons who are suicidal, they feel they do not have a reason to live. So once you log that, why does this person want to kill themselves? They don't feel as though they have a reason to live. So most of the time, they're not going to go out and get help. If I am close to that person, how can I shift their thinking and show them that they do have a reason to live without letting them know that this is what I'm doing? So I empower. I do a lot of empowerment, find things that are great about this person and help to celebrate that, because it's just the reality. I have wives call me and they'll say, oh, I wanted to see my husband. I'm trying to see if I could trick him into bringing him to you. No, that doesn't work. He's going to shut down. He's going to shut down. So you can't help people. They have to want to be helped. I think when person feels safe and feel that you genuinely care and that you're thinking in their best interest, I think it is at that place that they will say, yes, I need the help. So for now, until that person get to that place, what you can do is to continue to show them that they have a reason to live.
Excellent advice. Thank you for that. This is from HB, kind of what you were just saying a little while ago. I have anxiety that showed up from a stressful job. Exercise, diet, and certain supplements help.
Okay, so I guess that's just a comment, not necessarily
Yeah.
a question, right?
Does
if I don't know if the person is still online, but most times the employer does not know that the employee is experiencing stress. So when I have to do workplace, when I have to do cooperation, one of the things I encourage employees to do is to have that conversation, as hard as it may be. Go to your bosses, request a meeting, and say, I enjoy working here. I'm grateful for my job. This is how I feel when you ask me to do 10 million things in a day, and this is how I feel. It creates stress, and when I feel stressed, I cannot perform at my best. And I think sometimes we just have to bold up and have these conversations, because 9 out of 10 times the employer does not know that this is stressful. So have that conversation.
Great advice. Oren says, do you think the current level of violence is as a result of mental illness? I find that persons are never willing to de-escalate a trivial disagreement, which sometimes results in death.
I don't know if it is as a result, but does it impact? Absolutely. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, Trinidad just had a 7-day campaign for the love of country, and one of their biggest issue was crime and mental health. Now, if mental health is not being diagnosed, um, it also can lead to criminal activities, right? Most of the time, we don't know that until the person is already in prison. But even in prison, what is happening now is that our prison system does not have facility to deal with mental health issues. Let's say you talk about bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, and all of a sudden somebody's in prison and they are, President Obama, and they want to be acknowledged as such, and you try to restrain them, you might end up causing more damage or stuff like that. You might have one or two psychiatrists working across all the prisons. So there are persons that may need medication to bring them back to equilibrium so that they can really, really understand what is going on and how to act. And so one of the things that I have been suggesting is that every person within the prison system probably needs some form of assessment, and that's where forensic psychology comes in, where we do assessments that are particularly to criminals, and it shows us different things. It shows us whether or not these persons have any form of mental illnesses, or whether these persons are just murderers, born murderers. If you know that, then it helps you to treat differently. All right. And then when that happens, what you could do is focus on rehabilitation. So let's say somebody rob a store and they spend their time and they go back out to the side, so into society. Society can turn around and become a prison for them, because now they can't get a job because they have a criminal record. They now become depressed, anxious, you name it, lead right back into doing another crime, send them right back into prison again. But if they were assessed and you recognize that, you know what, this person is suffering from, let's say ADHD, or I don't know, autism, whatever the whole deal is. Now you can now prescribe a treatment plan to help this person to change their thinking, so that when they go back out in society, their thinking is different. So they're not necessarily thinking to reoffend to get back into prison. So I feel it plays a vital role, but I wouldn't say that it is the cause. There are several different causes to crime in Jamaica.
Okay, thank you. Have a couple of comments here from Shayna Love Coaching. I'll just go through them. I love Dawn's holistic approach to therapy counseling. Awesome. Very few therapists take a holistic approach. It would be
Thank you.
helpful. It would be helpful for the parents to seek counseling or parent support group to increase their self-awareness and learn new tools on how to parent better with their children. And the last comment that I have from Shayna is having discussions on mental health and wellness would be a great addition to the channel to increase awareness, which
Awesome. Awesome, Shayna, and thank you for that.
absolutely. So we'll do this twice. Somebody is asking, what's your contact information?
Okay. So I'm on Instagram as Dawn Marie Therapy. And then all my info is in the bio. The link is in the bio, contact number, email, all of that.
Okay. I'm just going to create a banner so everybody.
Right. And I offer several different techniques. So it's not just face-to-face. I have online. I have clients all over the world. We do online, and there are persons who are still not bold enough to want to talk to anybody. We also have texting that you can, it's, a special way of therapy. So there's so many different ways that you can get help right now.
Okay, awesome. And so with that, it's like how can we as a community support you and what you're doing. And as somebody says here, Hopeton says, yes, you would do great in Toronto, Canada, but Jamaica needs you. And so
I was just in Toronto. I just got back this week. My boys graduated,
awesome.
and it was the same thing. My friends were there, and they're like, "You need to move to Toronto. You need to move," you know. But I'm glad that we have the World Wide Web, and technology has, create this globalization, so I could stay in Jamaica and help the people in Toronto. But yes, thank you guys for the support. And I love people. It was people that helped me growing up. I grew up very, very poor. It was my neighbor who, whenever she sees 7 o'clock and I'm not yet at the taxi stand, would call my mother from the bottom of the hill and said, "Can I put on our uniform?" It's teachers who, if I was sad, would pull me aside and say, "What's wrong?" And I could get to talk to them and tell them, "I don't have any lunch money. I'm hungry." And so for me, helping people is a part of my DNA. And, I pray and I seek new ways every single day, wisdom to reach, because, it's not a one size fit all. Not everything works for everybody. So thank you guys for the support.
Excellent. Sorry. So sorry about the internet. But
Yeah.
I have a question there from Shayna. I'm not sure if you see it, but she asked, you
Um,
to expand your practice, your group practice. I'm inquiring if you have a private practice.
yes, Shayna, I do have a private practice currently, yes. I am looking to expand. So you could just send me a message on Instagram and then we can talk further from there.
Excellent. And this is a good question from Nicole. Yes, I'm not sure. Hold on. I think is there any foundation that we could support that could offer mental health therapy to children whose parents cannot afford it?
Nicole, thank you for that. I actually, in the bio, if you had joined early, you would have heard that I'm the director for Life Care Center. So Life Care Center is a center that I founded. It's separate from my private practice. And we see people there who are unable to afford mental health, payments and stuff like that. So again, if you want to send me a message and then we could connect, that's where we need a lot of help. Um, I recognize also that most of the needs are physical. So like persons that I see at the Life Care Center, most of their depression and anxiety is caused from physical needs. They need food, they need clothing, they need school fees, they need stuff like that. And it's something that I'm hoping that we can support. So let's have that conversation. So if you could just send me a message and then with your information and we can connect and speak further.
Okay, excellent. And before we leave, can you give us any resources that you would recommend for mental mental health? I know you mentioned these different initiatives from the government. Where can we direct people?
All right. So Psychology Today, if they just go to Psychology Today, there's so many resources that are there. Um, Also, the Ministry of Health, Jamaica, they have a lot of resources on their website that you can do at home to help, activities that you can use to help with your children. But also, in addition, I have been encouraging parents to get back to the basic of reading time with your children, half an hour, movie time with your children, games night. Include these things into your family life, because many of our children, they're getting into what they're getting into because they feel abandoned. They're living at home with their parents, but they feel abandoned. So let us start spending more time with our children so that we can limit the amount of time that social media is training them, because that's what's happening. You know, they're on their tablets all the time. Social media is training them. Let's take that back. Let's take back that mantle, spend time with our children, doing activities with them.
Yeah, sorry about that.
We lost you a little bit.
But you were giving out some resources. I don't know if you finished with that already.
Yes, well, you were gone, but I'm assuming that persons would still hear.
That's right.
Right. Okay. Okay. Good.
Okay. Yeah, I think we can leave it there. You know, this. I thought this was a great start. And I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate you taking the time to
Thank you.
come on. And I would encourage everybody out there to please follow Dawn Marie Therapy on Instagram.
Yes.
And if for those, I'll put the resources in that you mentioned in the description of this video, so people can use them. And I thought this was such a needed conversation. I know I learned a tremendous amount, and I would love to have you on again at some point, and perhaps we can actually do this face to face and go a little bit deeper. Even though I thought this was very deep in itself.
No problem, no problem. And again, it's my pleasure. It's my absolute pleasure to talk about anything that is going to create a better Jamaica. Boy, I love Jamaica, bad.
Awesome. Same. So thank you again very much, Miss Peckrave, and we will be
Yeah,
in touch, and we will do this hopefully sooner rather than later. Hopefully we can do this before the year ends. Do it again.
absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you. And thank you to all the viewers. And I look forward to the messages on Instagram, and I will respond. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Take care. All right. Thank you, everybody. I'm so sorry that we're having these issues with internet today, but I appreciate everybody sticking with it and staying till the end here. And I thought this was a very, very necessary conversation, and I'm glad Ms. Peckrave took the time out to come on and speak with us about these things. And I think it's just something that should be part of our normal everyday dialogue. I want it to be part of our normal dialogue here in this community. And to me, like, this is the way we spread it. Like, we sit down, we talk about it, and then perhaps you go on within your own personal friend groups, and then you talk about it, or you bring these strategies to your family, or maybe your family that you have down here, and you speak and have a conversation about it, of the importance of mental health. Even the little thing that she said about having a family games night at home, so powerful, so powerful. I remember like those family game nights with me and my family and my brothers, and how much fun those were. And like, that's what family is about. And I think sometimes in this very fast-paced, moving society and world that we live in today, we kind of forget about the basics, and we forget about these these memorable moments that we create, and don't even know the impact that they will have on a child and what that will mean to them as an adult. And I think that, again, I want to do this more regularly and make this be a part of this community. And I think it was NN, if I'm not mistaken, they had suggested this be that we add this to the Throp X retreat and make it be a part of the retreat. Yeah, definitely. Maybe probably not this year. The itinerary is pretty tight, but I do. And I was talking about this maybe even last night. Like, I really want health and mental health to be just a regular part of this Throp community, and because it's so important to me and it's such a big part of my life. And I think this channel, in many ways, is an extension of my personality and is an extension of my life. And so why not? Why not? And it does seem like this is something that you all are very much interested in, and also not only from an informational standpoint, but from a standpoint of action and doing something about it and making Jamaica as a society better. And like Miss Petgrave says, it starts up here more than anything else. And this is like we say your health is your wealth, and that's not just the physical health, but it's your mental health as well. And I think we got a lot of information and unfortunately really stark examples of the negative side of mental health, particularly in children. So thank you again, everybody, for joining today, and thank you for putting up again with this technology. We will have this solved for the next live stream, which will be on Thursday. So we're doing Thursday again, Thursday live stream. This is going to be a Throp X dedicated. Man, I have the Throp X trailer that I wanted to show you guys today. Oh, I totally forgot. Let me see if I can pull it up. So this is not the complete trailer, but since everybody, I think this is the least that I can do, right? Since you sat through all this technology challenges, let's see if we can upload this trailer. I hope I'm not just like teasing here. I think I might be just teasing. Give you guys a little bit of a gift. All right, maybe I can share this. 1 second here. Bear with me. Hopefully it'll be worth it. Oh, I think I can. Let's see. I could share this screen. All right. Let me share my screen. If I don't got it, then we're gonna have to save it till Thursday's live stream. But let me get some comments real quick. Oren says, Throp, you're doing a great job. I hope your channel will grow, expand into even mainstream media, not just here on social. Excellent work, boss. I enjoyed the discussion. Thank you so much, Oren. Appreciate it. HB says, we have family movies night and go roller skating with our son. That's awesome. I mean, he's never going to forget that stuff. I know I don't. I haven't. Ginaldo says, late check-in. Hi, mental health should be a priority. Absolutely. Suzette says, big thanks to you, Throp. Absolutely. Thanks for chiming in, Suzette. Carly Soul says, yes, much needed holistic conversations. Thanks. You're welcome. Hopton says, yes, this is why I like this channel because it's very positive. Thank you, Hopton. All right. So let's see if I can. I'm going to try to hopefully share this screen. If not, we're just going to have to wait till Thursday. Yeah, it's not looking like. Okay, let's see if we can share the screen, and then if you guys, I'm just worried about the sound here. Nope, it's not letting me. Hold on. Let me know if you can. I just don't know if I don't think the sound is gonna play, but let's see if this works. Let me know if you could hear the sound. We're going to try to play this trailer. If you can't, we'll just save it till Thursday, excuse me. But it's still a work in progress. Let's see. Let me know if you can hear it. Nope, I don't think so. Let me. Sorry, can you hear it? No sound. Okay, I figured. Yeah, we're gonna have to. Sorry, guys. We're gonna have to wait. I don't think you guys can hear this sound. Sorry, I tried to give everybody a sneak peek. We'll have to wait till Thursday, so I'll have it ready for Thursday, and I will show you. You can see the trailer. So we'll release it on Thursday, and everybody will have a chance to see that. So this will be the ThropX trailer. We'll have ready for Thursday. Let's finish up with a few comments here, and we will close out. And then ask, what time is the live stream on Thursday? 4 p.m. Jamaica time. We'll be going live. Hope to see you there. And Natasha York says, great discussion today. No worries in reference to the internet issues. We completely understand. Your content is well worth it. This channel is definitely an asset. Thank you so much, Natasha. I really appreciate that. And Natalie says, I'm putting the technological difficulties on tomorrow's full moon. Okay, yes, that's what we'll do. Charles says, appreciate your outstanding stream on today. Keep up the good work and blessings. Thank you. Monica says, very interesting topic. I always enjoy this channel. Great job. I'm at home feeling like I'm in the grill. Looking at your background. Lovely. Awesome. Glad you like that, Fio. Professor B says, good advice for employees to speak with their employers proactively. Very actionable advice. Monica says, big up, Throp. Good job. Thank you. King Nalo, yeah, I know you've been waiting on this trailer. I know. It's ready, but we just, I don't know. Sorry. We just didn't get it. It's not uploading for whatever reason. I think I just need to change the format. Shayna says, have a beautiful week, everyone, and safe for those celebrating 4th of July. That's right. Better late than never. Okay, we're gonna close out. That didn't mean to do that drum. We're gonna close out now, and this was a good one. I enjoyed it. I can't thank enough Miss Petgrave again. Thank her enough for coming out and for discussing this with us, and appreciate her time. And we will definitely be doing more of this. This is for sure going to be more like a regular part of. Oh no, we lost power for a second. Yeah, I think we're gonna close it out there, guys. I think you guys can still hear me. We're just gonna leave it there. There I am. Camera even turned off. See you guys on Thursday at 4. Hopefully no more internet problems. Have a great week, everybody.